So for Cloze Passage, the way you go through Cloze Passages, you have to go through each like the main idea, and then we can go through each paragraph. So the main topic of this entire Cloze Passage is octopus farming. Octopus farming is like what this entire text is about. It's the title tells you like when you're doing writing, and it tells you, and you're supposed to like specify what you're supposed to do. In Cloze Passage, you also use like your writing skills for this, right? So usually like in writing, have you ever learned like teal or peel or whatever type of paragraph you use? Oftentimes in reading, you also can use this structure in Cloze Passages to teach you and tell you what is supposed to be like correct in each context. So in Octopus, in this text, I will like go in each paragraph, I'll go through like a main idea and what it's about, right? So like for the first paragraph, you can kind of assume, because of the way a normal text is structured, this is going to be just an introduction. So the introduction here, it's specifically talking about how people are planning to create octopus farms, right? So it can kind of show you what type of text this is as well. So this text is a persuasive type text because it's talking about how this idea to plan to make octopus farms is not like acceptable. Like people, they should not do this because it's ethically inexcusable. It's environmentally dangerous. So oftentimes a normal introductory paragraph, they tell you what they believe, which is that they have people shouldn't do this. They have been denounced by international groups of researchers. So octopus farming is bad. They also talk about what the next paragraphs are going to be about. So it's ethically inexcusable, it's environmentally dangerous, and other things, right? So this is just an introduction. The second paragraph, where 15 is, it talks about how they have to like feed. And octopus are very complex animals, right? It says in the beginning that they have to feed a lot of they need a lot of food to feed octopus, which are going to be hard if they're trying to farm them. And then they also talk about how they are very sophisticated, complex animals, and how they should not be the source of mass-produced food. So around question 15, in order to do Cloze Passage, we have to look around the gap, sentences before and after. It says, the group led by Professor Jennifer Jacquet of New York University argues that octopus are highly developed and curious creatures. Then the blank. We can see no reason why, in the 21st century, a sophisticated, complex animal should become the source of mass-produced food, says Jacquet. So around 15, the main topic around it is that octopus are very smart and intelligent and curious animals, right? So obviously you should not be eating and killing curious animals. So 15, because there is no change in the topic before and after, 15 must also be about how animals and things, octopus as animals are very smart and very sophisticated, so they should not be eaten. So 15, looking at the answers, so A, fish farmers have turned to the rearing of octopus to try to replace these dwindling catches. This is wrong because it doesn't talk about how intelligent octopus are, and they don't talk about its like intelligence anyway. It's talked more about fish farmers and how they are trying to catch octopus. B, but might this actually be the best way to protect this species over the long term? So B, it references something that has not been mentioned yet in this text. It says, might this is referencing something, and the second paragraph has yet to like say a way to protect species. So it can't be B either. Then C, farming them intensively would probably cause large numbers of death from stress. So C fits very well in here because of the way that they talk about stress. Animals who aren't intelligent obviously don't stress. So it's likely pointing towards like a smart or intelligent like species. But if it's not C, let's go through the rest of the answers, right? D, there have also been advances in controlling the environment in which octopus are raised. So we're looking at environments here, but they haven't talked about specifically the environments in which they raise. And this is slightly against what the topic is about. It's saying that the environment they're raised in is going to be hard for a type of intelligent animal that octopus are. So it isn't D either. E, in one such experiment, scientists observed octopus building shelters from pieces of coconut shells. E is possible, but they haven't mentioned experiments, right? They haven't mentioned, this is like the first like paragraph, and they're more specifically talking about the intelligence and not like talking about how it's shown. So it's not E either. F, the case for octopus farming is weak, according to Jacquet and her co-authors. So though it does reference Jacquet and stuff, which is where the quote is from, it is question 15. The gap is less about proving that octopus farming is weak. It's more about proving that octopus should not be farmed because they're smart. Though these are similar, they are slightly different because it has to focus specifically on the octopus being intelligent. So it's not F. And then G, because octopus larvae only eat live food. So G, it talks about food, which isn't what the extract for 15 is surrounded around. It's surrounded around octopus's intelligence. So the only one that really fits the best out of all of these is answer C. And to check whenever you do cloze passage, you can read from the sentence before, then read the gap, and then the sentence after, right? So, and if it flows, then it probably fits correctly in this situation. So if I put the answer C in there, it says the group led by Professor Jennifer Jacquet of the New York University argues that octopus are highly developed and curious creatures. And then C, farming them intensively would probably cause large numbers of deaths from stress. We can see no reason why, in the 21st century, a sophisticated, complex animal should be the source of mass-produced food. So it flows very well, with 15 talking about and giving a reason why being a developed and curious and smart creature can be impactful when it comes to choosing what animal to farm. So C fits well in 15.